Okay, I'm going to do some video explanations for your review for your reassessment tomorrow. Please take the time to fast forward, rewind, wow, replay it. I can't talk today, sorry. And come in tutorials in the morning if you still need assistance with how to solve these problems. So the first page is strictly 45, 45, 90. I'm going to post the blueprint to your test. You're going to have basically 2 to 3 problems with 45, 45, 90 special right triangles, where they're going to be just one triangle. You'll see the 45 degrees. Just like on these set of problems we have here. Just to kind of recap, if you have a 45, 45, 90 degree triangle, the parts of the triangle that you need to understand are, because you have two 45s, that means your two legs are congruent. And most of the time on your formula chart for your legs, you have an x and an x. And then your hypotenuse is x square root of 2, meaning you take whatever the leg is and you multiply it by the square root of 2. Alright, so the two things you need to understand, anytime I go from short side to a bigger side, you multiply. If I go from a big side to a smaller side, trying to find the smaller side, you divide. This is basically just dealing with multiply by square root of 2 or divide by square root of 2. So on this first one they have here, our 3 root 2 represents a leg. So here's my leg, and then here's my other leg. So automatically you should know what y is. Exactly. 3 root 2 is the exact same answer as the corresponding leg. X represents the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse, remember, is always opposite the right angle. That's for any right triangle. So the rule states that if I want to find the hypotenuse, and I'm going to change the color here. I want to find this hypotenuse. To get a hypotenuse in a 45, 45 degree triangle, you take whatever the leg is and you multiply it by the square root of 2. Well, in this case, our leg is the 3 root 2. But then I'm going to multiply that by the square root of 2. And that gets simplified. If you're not too sure, you can put this in the calculator and it'll do it for you. But most of you see that because these are both underneath the radical sign, you can multiply those together. That's 3 square root of 4. But the square root of 4 is a perfect square. What is the square root of 4? 2. So that means really what you have is 3 times 2, which is 6. And that is your x. And I'll put it up there. So number 2, again, 45, 45, 90 triangle. Y you should automatically see is 7, because our legs are going to be congruent. Both of these are legs. And then x, our hypotenuse, is just 7 radical 2. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, it says x radical 2. X just represents the leg. Stop worrying about the letter and understand what that part is. If you understand the parts, I think you can do the problems a whole lot better. All right, now let's try number 3. Number 3, the only side they have for us is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 6. I need to get to the leg. That's what I need to find. I know x basically and y would be the same, but to get to that, I have to now divide. If I go from a big side trying to find a smaller side, you're going to divide. So on this problem, to get to the leg of a 45, 45, 90 triangle, you take whatever the hypotenuse is and divide it by the square root of 2. In this problem, our hypotenuse, is 6. And I'm just now going to divide that by the square root of 2. I cannot leave that as my answer. You have to rationalize, get rid of the radical 2, so you multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 2. So if you start off with this part right here, yes, partial credit. But then you have to show the multiplication. There's some more. Then we just do top times top. If I multiply the top together, on the top would just be 6 square root of 2. And bottom times bottom. Well, anytime I multiply by radical times itself, it gets rid of the radical sign. It comes out of the house, and the answer is just 2. But then we have to, so here we get points, but then we have to simplify. We have to make this a little smaller, because I know 6 can be divided by 2. Exactly, 3. So your final answer is 3 square root of 2. That is the x and the y, because they're both the same, of number 3. So, on number 4, very similar, but now we're starting with the leg, and we need to find the other leg, which we know is the same, so that's just square root of 2, and then the hypotenuse. We're going from a small part to a bigger part. Whenever I go from a small to a bigger, what operation would that be? Multiplication. So if you show multiplication, you can get partial credit. Show the operation. Show something that you know every time. So basically, I'm just going to take that square root of 2, because that is the leg. The leg is multiplied by the square root of 2, so I'm going to multiply by the square root of 2, and you're just going to be left with 2. That means M is 2 here. Your hypotenuse is 2. Alright, so I'm going to leave you with those. 5 and 6 you need to do. 5 is very similar to 4. Hopefully they will look similar when you're done. That's your hint. And then 6 is similar to 1. Okay, refer to those previous steps. Alright, so if you didn't need this, and I should have told you in the beginning, just fast forward, because it's going to be a playlist. I'm going to upload just a video per page or per section. Thank you.